And welcome back to CPAC 2021 here in Dallas, Texas. I am joined by Ryan Hartwig, who is a Facebook whistleblower for Project Veritas. We have seen big tech run rampant, and we are joined by a professional who could probably tell us it a little bit better than most people. Ryan, how you doing? Tell us what is going on with Facebook right now, and what inspired you to come forward?
Yeah, so I went public last year. I worked at Facebook as a content moderator for 2 years. So I'm a policy expert. I studied Facebook's internal policy for 2 years. But yeah, I started to see just blatant bias creeping out from Facebook's internal policy and just censoring conservatives, censoring Trump. I mean, just one example that stood out was, Trump gave a State of the Union speech, and Facebook told us to look for hate speech coming from a State of the Union.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
So State of the Union speech, hate speech. So yeah. What inspired you to? Obviously, it's tough when you're working there. That's your livelihood. That's your job. Yeah. How did you get the courage to come forward? And what was that experience like getting in touch with Project Veritas?
Yeah, so I'd made a list of bias and examples that I'd seen at Facebook after about a year. So I had about 20 examples. Of course, I talked to my wife about it. It was a major decision for us.
Yeah.
I had a good full-time job with great health benefits, a Fortune 500 company. I was contracted by Facebook, by Cognizant. So really, I wanted the American public to know. I mean, you think, okay, a few comments here, a few comments there deleted, not a big deal. But if you look at the scale of what content moderators are doing, there's thousands of them in the US, and they each delete, review hundreds of comments a day. That's thousands and thousands of Americans being censored.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned thousands of Americans being censored. I mean, I've seen, and we've all seen it, there are hostile foreign actors who are allowed on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, literally people in Iran and terrorists who are allowed to exist on there. Why does Facebook want to target American leaders like President Trump, but they let so many hateful groups around the world just post their stuff with no reprimand?
Yeah, so as a content moderator, I was able to see lots of different content on the internet. I mean, horrible content. I had to delete, terrorist videos, cartel videos, beheadings and such. So we did have a policy for terrorist organizations, but ironically, in that same section of the policy for terrorists is included, right-wing hate groups.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's outrageous. So you came forward, and now you are with Project Veritas, and you saw the work that President Trump has done in the recent days where he announced that he is going to be suing big tech. What's your take as an expert, as somebody who used to work there before you crossed to the other side? What's your take on that lawsuit and what President Trump's trying to do?
Yeah, so Trump's lawsuit, so you understand it, is basically, is asking the question that the courts are going to have to determine whether Facebook is a state actor or if they're just being given permission to. So it's the difference between, if I give you permission to do something versus telling you to do it. So if I say, go knock over that camera or that chair, versus I give you permission to do it. So that's where we're at. So Trump's argument is that Facebook is acting as a state actor,
right?
Which means they would be liable. They wouldn't have those civil liability protections under Section 230. So that's the essence of it. So it's a strong case. There's some other cases that may be stronger, maybe suing the government itself under the Fifth Amendment for due process, because Facebook is depriving us of liberty and property, and we don't have any recourse, and there's no measurable balance. I mean, Facebook's policy is not, uniformly applied at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I think people around this country, people at CPAC, and even politicians, all from state level, national level, they are being deplatformed from social media. So what do you think's next? I mean, President Trump's doing this. He's following the lawsuit. You obviously have a familiarity with big tech. Where do you think President Trump's chances lie to win this lawsuit, and how do you feel it's going to shake out here in the coming months?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because we see time and time again that Twitter and Facebook, they choose courts that are favorable to them. So if it goes out in California, if it's ruled in California, it's tougher. It's going to be a harder battle. I think the future lying forward is with us, the consumers. You can become more educated about the topic. I just published a book about my experiences called Behind the Mask of Facebook, and it talks more about that legal strategy and the whole Section 230 debate. But I think as consumers, we can choose alternate platforms.
Absolutely.
We see the antitrust option is there, but it's going to be tough. So, just keep on supporting President Trump. These other battles, there's other people suing Facebook and Twitter. We've got to stay united and keep fighting against big tech.
Absolutely. We need to keep fighting against big tech. Otherwise, they will silence good voices. And it takes very strong and courageous people like Ryan Hartwig here to come forward with Project Veritas and expose what they're doing. Ryan, thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.